You just finished frying an egg, and now your pan is all greasy. You run under the faucet for a moment, but the grease remains. What's going on here? In order to prevent your egg from sticking to the pan, you added some butter. Now the surface is covered in a thin sheet of oil. But why can't the water wash the oil away? The reason is, water and oil don't like mixing. As everyone knows, water is made from 2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen molecule. What you might not know is that these molecules form a V shape, with the oxygen in the middle and the hydrogens at the ends. Because the oxygen draws electrons in more strongly than hydrogens, one end of the molecule is a bit more negatively charged and the other end is a bit more positively charged. This property is called polarity. In other words, water is polar. This means that when water molecules are near each other, they tend to reorient themselves so that their positive ends are near the negative ends of other water molecules, and vice versa. The ability of water to do this results in a significant extra attraction between polar molecules like water. The oil isn't like this. It's made of hydrocarbon chains where the electrons are distributed on the molecule more or less evenly. In other words, it's nonpolar. It has no charged parts to attract other oil molecules. So, water has this extra attraction to other water molecules and oil doesn't. This means that water is always trying to find other water molecules to clump up with, and it doesn't mind shoving oil molecules out of the way to do it. The result is that oil and water tend to separate when they come in contact. This is what prevents the water from washing away the grease. Let's zoom into the surface of the pan. In order for a droplet of oil to leave the surface, it first needs to protrude into the water, but it needs to pry apart a bunch of water molecules to do so. Unfortunately for you, that's hard to do. The water-water attraction is too strong. The good news is that there's a solution: soap. Soap molecules are part of a class of molecules called surfactants. Surfactants are half polar and half nonpolar. The polar part loves clumping up with water, but the other end doesn't mind being shoved aside with the oil. When you add soap, the surfactant molecules can line up along the boundary, with the polar part in the water and the nonpolar part in the oil. Now, if some oil from the surface starts to protrude into the water, it doesn't have to work so hard to pry water molecules apart, since the water is just as happy with the polar end of the surfactant as it is with other water molecules. And that's how soap works.